Welcome to the first lab in CP100. Together we're going to walk through the process of registering for the free trial and creating a project. Really the first steps in getting up and running in Google Cloud Platform. Let's do it. First, let me show you where you can get access to the lab materials here for this lab. That way you can try it out on your own or follow along with me. Now the first thing you want to do is log in under the account that you registered for this class with. And if you didn't go through that process, we walk through it in the very first nugget in this course. I give you a class code, you register under a Google account, and that will give you access to this personalized training page, which you can then access at content.gcptrain.org. That'll take you right here. Make sure you're logged in under that account. And just a little tip here, if you have many Google accounts, as many of us do, then what you'll want to do is, just to make sure that you're only under that account, is fire up a new incognito window, log in under that account, and then there'll be no questions under what account you are logged into. So from here we can head over to the left nav, which will contain all the courses you have access to, and we're going to click right on CP100A Google Cloud Platform Fundamentals. This will take us right into the course materials here for this course. So on the left you have all your presentations, on the right we have our labs. For this lab we're looking at Module 3, register for the free trial and create a project. If we click on this, it'll take us to the live version, fire it right up in our browser, or you can head over to PDF Media and download it locally, which is what I did. So let me bring up the local version of this lab, and here it is. So you get a nice little overview here. We're going to sign up for the free trial and create a project. The duration is going to be roughly 10 minutes. We're going to need internet access to a modern internet browser, and a credit card. You need a credit card to register for the free trial, but don't freak out. You're not going to get billed for anything. That's purely for verification purposes. Here's what we'll learn. We're going to learn how to register for the free trial, and we're going to learn how to create a project, which will give us the perfect starting point going forward here through the rest of the course. I think we're about ready to go. Let's head on down the lab doc here. There's a little deeper of an overview here. Feel free to read through that, some marketing stuff in there. But what we want to do is head down to the first step. The first step is to head over to the registration page. And what I like to do is just head over to cloud.google.com. And over here on the right, you'll see a little My Console. And this is the first time I've done this with this account, so yours will look just like mine does. So if we click on this, it's going to take us right into the Developers Console, which is the main web UI we'll be doing a lot of work in for managing our project and creating resources and that kind of stuff. So the first time you log in, you're going to get this little sign up for free trial here. And that's what we want to click on. You can also, in the lab doc, by the way, just click right on this link. It'll take you right there. But I'm going to click right over here on this button, sign up for the free trial. Let's give you a little overview here what we're going to do. And essentially what you're going to get here is $300 in credit for 60 days. Whichever one of those you hit first is when your free trial will end. Now, when your free trial ends, and again, that's going to happen when you either spend all $300 or 60 days have gone by, you're going to get another 30-day window to upgrade to a paid account status. And if you do so, anything you did while in the free trial, all the projects you created, all the resources you created within those projects will get carried over to your now upgraded account. If not, then they'll just get removed from the system. Now, on the flip side of that, if you were to upgrade to a paid account prior to your free trial running out, so you have some credits left over, those credits will get pushed into your paid account, but they will get pulled out after that 60 days is up. Which is what we're going to be doing, by the way, in this lab, is registering for the free trial, getting access to those $300 in free credits, and then immediately upgrading to paid account status. And the reason we need to do that is to get access to the standard quota tier. So remember, this is a multi-tenant environment. All these clouds, multi-tenant environments, so there's limits in place to protect both the system and to protect the people on the system, so some app can't run away and suck down all the resources and affect everybody else's application, right? So we'll talk much more about quotas in a future nugget, but essentially you get a free quota tier and a standard quota tier. And the free quota tier is much lower than the standard quota tier. And we're going to be doing crazy things like spinning up clusters and running Dockerized applications and many things that are going to require higher quotas. All right, I think we're finally ready here to get started. So if we head back to the lab doc here, it's going to say, we're on step 3, by the way, complete the registration form, read and agree to the terms of service, click accept, and start the free trial. All right, so let's do that. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill out all my information here, put my credit card in, and when I'm done, also don't forget to accept the terms of service. I'm going to hit accept and start free trial. I'll meet you back here when I'm done. And I'm back. So after you fill out all your information and start your free trial, it'll give you a nice little welcome message and ask you if you want to take a tour of the console. Behind the scenes, it's going to create a project and then put you right into the dashboard for that project, which is what we have here. We'll talk more about projects. We have a whole nugget dedicated to it, but it'll give it a friendly name that you'll reference it by in your project, and then it'll give you a project ID, which we'll need for working with things like APIs and tools and such. I'm also going to show you how we can create our own project here, but it'll then put you into the dashboard for that project, and you're ready to go. Now, if you didn't get this message on top, just reload the page, and it'll pop up, and it'll give you an overview of what you have left in your account, and then give you the option to upgrade here as well. You can also go to billing. So if you drop down the sidebar, head over to billing here, you can always see how many credits you have available. Even after we upgrade, you'll have your credits list here. So we've got our free trial. Here's when it expires, and here's what it initially was, and here's what you have remaining. Cool. So let's go ahead and click that upgrade button here. It's going to give you a nice message telling us what upgrading is all about. You can learn more about it here, which will take you to the pricing page. But let's go ahead and hit upgrade, and boom, now we're all of a sudden upgraded. Now we're under paid account status. So we are now privileged Google Cloud Platform users because we have access to standard tier quotas. But I do want to mention this. Now that we're under paid account status, if you were to go over this $300 in credit, or our 60 days ran out, any charges we accrue after those facts, you will get billed for at the end of the billing cycle, which is at the end of the month. So what I'm going to do is at the end of every lab, I'm going to show you how to clean up and remind you to turn things off. As long as we do that, you'll have no problem. We will absolutely stay under this $300. And I'll also show you how to disable billing, which will ensure that you don't accrue any more charges. All right, so let's dismiss this message here, and let's head back home. So what I want to do next is show you how to create a project. And if we head back to the lab doc here, you can see we've upgraded, and then heading down here, our next section is to create a project. So let's head back into the developer's console here. Let's drop down this button, and let's choose create a project. We could also go into manage all projects here, and this will give us a nice list of all of our projects. Oh, I keep missing that. There we go. This will give us a list of all of our projects here. You can rename your project. You can't ever rename the project ID, but you can rename the friendly label here, the friendly name, the project name as we call that. You can also delete projects this way. But this will also give you a nice breakdown of your charges broken out by project. But let's go back to this dropdown, and let's choose create a project. And let's just give this project the name that the lab doc wants us to name it here, CP100. All right, so I'm just going to type in CP100. And now it's going to automatically generate a project ID here, Totemic Splicer. Good one. Some of these are really, really comical. And you can also edit this. But if you do make it your own, just remember it has to be globally unique across all of cloud platforms. So I can almost guarantee you CP100. See that? Yeah, it's going to be well, actually, it needs to be between 600. Here we go. Yeah, see, project ID is not available. So you can hit this refresh button and get one that you like, or try to type one in on your own. I'm just going to do CP100 dash nuggets. Let's see if this is one. Oh, I'm lucky. But yeah, leaving the auto-generated one is fine as well, because there's lots of places where we can find that project ID if we ever need it again, which we certainly will. You've also got some advanced options here. You can choose your App Engine location. So choose the region that's closer for you. That'll default to where your App Engine instances spin up. So I'm going to stick mine in US East 1. That's where I am. And I'm going to hit create. And that's going to spin up the project here. It's going to create it. And then we'll be able to bounce between projects if we need to. They'll both show up here in this list. So we'll just give that a second to get created. Oh, and you also have this nice little notification area up here, which is great because it'll show you all the activities that have been happening here inside of the web UI, and even give you visual notifications when things are done. You also have a nice little help button here. If you need any help inside of the developer's console, you can search for it. You've got a feedback form here to send to the Cloud Platform team, and the Cloud Shell. We'll be talking plenty about Google Cloud Shell because it's an awesome feature built right into the developer's console here. In fact, in our next lab, I'll show you what this is all about and how cool it is. Finally, we have our project dropdown. And the most important thing to understand here is whatever project you have selected is the project you're working in, meaning any resources we create. If we were to create some compute engine virtual machines, or a container engine cluster, or a cloud storage bucket, those resources are going to get created underneath that project. And that's also going to come into play when we're working outside of the developer's console, right? Maybe we're building an application. We need to communicate with some APIs here in Google's Cloud. Generally, we'll be passing in the project ID. Or maybe we're working with command line tools and managing things locally. Again, we'll be passing in the project ID. So just important concept to understand, because your project is your top level. It's a billing container, and it's a container for all the resources that we create. So we've reached the end of our lab. We've done it all. We registered for the free trial, got $300 in credit, upgraded our account, and even created our own project. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.